Question of like the nation of immigrants thing, and because I saw the comment. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm really not. I'm really not. So, but I do want to answer that question because I think that's a fair question, and I'm going to actually answer that. And this has been answered before, not just by me, but by lots of other people. But I'm going to answer it my way, which is to say this: people coming to America who want to become Americans, that isn't really the problem, okay? The problem is people coming to America who have no intention of ever assimilating into American culture at all. There is this notion of, okay, well, but the people that are going there, they're these poor people that are just trying to have, they're just trying to have the same opportunities Americans have. I'm sorry, but I don't know any Americans who are getting $13K a month in fucking food stamps. I don't, unless they're committing like overt welfare fraud, I don't know any Americans getting thousands and thousands of dollars a month from NGOs that are just giving them money to keep up with inflation so that they can afford to work at a factory someplace plucking chickens for $12 an hour. I don't know any Americans who are getting that. So to suggest that, well, they just want that these poor, tired, huddled masses yearning to breathe free are here to have the American experience, well, then they should have the real American experience, which would be them coming here being poor and then doing 8,000 resumes and getting no responses because the jobs don't actually exist. That would be the true American experience, not because that's what people are dealing with right now. The true American experience would be trying to buy a house and then finding out that, well, now it's like 500 grand to even probably get into a house, and you have to have, tens of thousands of dollars of down payment, and on top of that, you also have to have all this other crazy shit. Oh, and then you have to be able to make enough money to be able to afford the house on paper. Yeah, that would be the real American experience, not what a lot of people are experiencing now. So on its face, that's just brazen dishonesty to suggest that the people that are coming here, that these migrants are doing that. That's complete dishonesty, especially from what we're seeing. Right? So my suggestion is that you're going to have to sharpen that argument a bit better. And then as far as like, well, but what about the nation of immigrants? We're a nation of immigrants. Okay, yeah, but remember, keep in mind, go back about 60, 70, 80 years when you had, post-World War II, the immigrants that came here, there wasn't all kinds of crazy safety net, and programs. There wasn't any of that stuff. They were just coming here a lot of times with the clothes on their back, and then they had to make this work, and they had to be a part of the program and assimilate. That's not what we're seeing right now. The other side of it, which is only talked about typically by demographers. For those of you who don't know what a demographer is a statistician. Actually, a demographer is like a statistician for people. So they're like the chess club of statisticians. Okay, they're like people that nobody reads except for weirdos like me, like 30 years ago. But the demographers were talking about this stuff 30 years ago. They were screaming, "Hey, you guys are going to have a lot of problems here. You told a bunch of Americans to not have any kids. You told everybody not to do this because for whatever reason, it doesn't make any difference." I don't let the conservatives off the hook on this either, by the way. Oh no, don't get me wrong. The pink-haired Fruit Loop people out there that said don't have kids because of environment can go fuck themselves. For real. That's complete horseshit. But I don't let the conservatives off the hook either with their whole don't have kids until you have enough money to afford it and be responsible. And then immediately never let wages go up and do everything you can to pull the ladder up so that the next generations can never really afford to have kids. So you can go fuck yourselves too, okay? All of you can go collectively fuck yourselves in Macy's window at Christmas time for all I give a shit, because you're both equally responsible. And I think it would be wonderful if both sides would take their equal amount of responsibility, but they won't. Again, I'm not delusional. So, but the demographers would also bring this up. If like, well, what are you doing to other countries? Because if you're taking away seriously the best and brightest, like literally, from these other countries, what are you leaving the other countries with? Yeah. See, that's the problem. You're kind of dooming those other countries because you took away their best and brightest, right? Like, well, but they're coming here to make everything great. Okay, why didn't they make things great in their countries? Like, these are just really simple cross-examining type questions. And by the way, this has nothing to do with my race. Not to me, anyway. That's a fucking low frequency to me. No. This has to do with a mentality, with a way of thinking. You understand? It's actually where IQ testing comes from. Even though I don't agree with IQ testing at all, I think IQ science is basically a pseudoscience personally. For a lot of reasons I'm not going to go into in this video. But but there is a way of thinking that exists, right, within cultures. And, we are Americans. We have American culture, right? We generally don't eat our house pets, right? In general, most of us don't consume our house pets, right? And other people who've decided that that's okay, like, no, that's not okay. Because what if Americans went into your country and started doing a bunch of shit that you didn't like, right? I mean, I don't know, like going to India and eating a cow or two. Yummy. So, I mean, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so there's a way of thinking. So if someone wants to come to the U.S. to be an American, right? Most Americans don't have a problem with that. That isn't the issue. It's the people that have no intention of ever assimilating to this. And they're coming here for so-called benefits. They're coming here because they're being paid to do that. These are problems. And those are legitimate issues. And to my point earlier, when I pointed out, like, what happens to all these people in other countries? Like, yeah, what are you dooming those other countries to? What are you dooming those other countries to? Let's also consider China. China has a huge real estate problem right now. They're tanking big time. Why didn't China open their doors and flood their country full of Haitian migrants? I'm not picking on Haitians specifically. I'm just saying, like, or any migrant. Or all of South America. Why didn't they open their doors and say, hey, everybody move to China and we're going to let you vote? Why didn't China do that? You'll never answer it. I know most people will never answer that question because we all know the answer. Okay, so why should any other country do that? Why should any other country do that? I mean, like, we are not better than anybody. Stop that shit. That's why I get fucking annoyed by libertarians with that shit. Like, well, we're better than that. The fuck, we are not better than shit. Nobody is. Okay, nobody's perfect. Don't dilute yourself into thinking that you're somehow holier than thou. No, I don't buy that shit for a second. So no, I mean, like, these are the serious questions that we should be asking. And again, we're not talking about somebody coming here to want to, like, be a part of the American program. But then again, even if that were the case, there's also the other side of that, in that we have people in America, we have Americans, putting out thousands upon thousands upon thousands of resumes and getting no responses. We're hearing all the time, and I've been over this fucking wages thing 1,000 goddamn times, and I keep hammering you guys on this, and no one can answer it. I'll take anybody on this one. You can even pick your own champion. Get 1 million people who speak English, who are Westerners, in a coliseum or something like that, or out in a big old field or something like that and stuff, and you can pick whatever champion you want, and I will have the wage debate with fucking anybody. The worst I can do is make a fool of myself, right? Or maybe I can make a fool of the other person. But we've been over this wage thing, and if you're going to say that there is a labor shortage in the U.S., then you can't say that wages have to stay low. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say that wages have to stay 12, 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour, when that doesn't buy shit anymore, because your currency's fucking worthless. So why don't we deal with the currency issue first, and then deal with a lot of the other problems we have in our country? Then you can open up the borders and let people come in, the tired, huddled masses yearning to breathe free, or something like that. And also another question that I would have is, like, what is it that about their other countries? Why couldn't anybody make their countries great? Why couldn't they? This is a legitimate question, by the way. Why couldn't they do it? Well, because their countries are communist. You mean communism doesn't work? Yeah, probably. Because it doesn't fucking work. None of these fucking isms work. Dude, if it has central banking involved, it doesn't fucking work. Guaranteed. And if your country is borrowing from the IMF or World Bank, you are fucked.